Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Commercial Fishing Radio. Sorry I haven't posted in a while. Been busy doing all of the other stuff on Facebook and on the website. Anyway, today I have an interview with Mr. Keith Harris, the President of Queensland Seafood Industry Association. So I'll get him on the line and we'll discuss current white spot issue in Queensland and other issues facing Queensland at this time. Hello, Keith.
Yes, Dane. How you doing?
Very well. So I've got the Queensland Seafood Industry Association media release here. White spot disease, there's assurances that this is not a health risk to humans. It's more about stopping the spread to other stocks.
Yeah, Chief of Biosecurity that I had a meeting with Minister Bill Burnham last Thursday last week in Brisbane. He assured everyone attended at that meeting, and they put out in subsequent releases that there is absolutely no threat to human health with this virus. It's basically a species virus that I believe, and yes, once cooked, the seafood is as good as you would get it anywhere.
This poses a significant threat to, well, really the fact that we already import over 70% of our seafood in Australia. This can't help that process.
I'm thankful that the federal government did stop the importation of any further prawns into Australia, and in all honesty, my own personal opinion, I think that probably should never be lifted. With the threat that's hanging over our industry, why should the importation of prawns be reintroduced when we've got fishermen in Queensland southeast corner that will probably struggle to sell their product? So, it just seems a bit ridiculous to maybe allow any further importation of prawns.
So considering we've now got this issue of not being able to supply enough seafood for Australians, and also the fact that this is going to make it even worse, would you think it's probably a good idea to maybe reverse these net-free zones, or any further closures, avoid any further closures to commercial fishing?
Yeah, I would dearly love to see that happen, but under the present state Labor government that we have, they're strongly committed to the net-free zones, and that's their words, not mine. I do feel that the existing net-free zones could be tweaked a bit to allow reduced commercial activity. When we were fighting the net-free zones in a year and a half or so ago, we suggested to the Minister ways that we could reduce the effort by 50 to 60% in the estuary systems in the Rockhampton area. Didn't want to know about it. Well, so yeah, mate. Another thing that is a little bit of a dampener, I guess, in the Moreton Bay area is the prospect of a Moreton Bay net-free zone, which has been spoken about in the past by this government. So I think the poor fishermen in Moreton Bay have copped enough now without that looming over their head as well. So some assurances from the government would be really nice to, allay the fears that a further net-free zone in Moreton Bay is on the cards.
Well, I think considering the public own the resource, I think they owe it to the public to these assurances that they're not going to close down any further areas. I think importing over 70% in itself is ridiculous. To expand that with further closures, and that 70% figure, my understanding is that's before the net-free zones, before the Victorian Target 1 million policy, and also before the reforms come in New South Wales. So there's going to be a significant increase in the percentage of imports once all of those things are actually looked at and how much imports there are after
Yeah,
those announcements.
yeah. Well, it only stands to reason. The less product that we can supply the public, and rightly you say that it is their resource also. Commercial fishermen, I believe, some people have the perception that we go there and we take everything and we keep it ourselves. We don't. We're just basically the middleman. We catch it and sell it to people who distribute it basically across Australia and across the world in some cases. So without us to do that, where are the future seafood supplies going to come from? There's only one way. That's on a boat from somewhere overseas, I guess, or our northern neighbours will come down from up the north and catch it and then return. Which they have been doing a bit in the past. So yeah, I think something's got to be done. There's somehow or other we've got to get some stability into our seafood production. We've always wanted to be. A lot of people have claimed we would like to be a nation that can be self-supporting when it comes to food. Here's a great opportunity to prove that we can do it by getting behind the fishermen who then, in turn, supply the public and the overseas tourists who come here with our product.
Yeah, well, I think it's even come to the point where the government's actually recognised that, the science is backing the professional fishermen, so we've really got to do something to get past that. The Green Paper is a classic example where they talk about the fact that, okay, well, we understand that 40%, having 40% unused stock is sustainable, but in the interest of the future, we'd like to lift that to 60%. So essentially saying, oh, well, we don't care what the scientists say. Our opinion is this, and that's what matters.
Yeah, exactly right. There's no proof to say that raising that will be more beneficial, but possibly in the political arena. And that's where a lot of this comes from. It's more about not sustainability of the stocks of fish so much anymore. It's more about the sustainability of the political future of some people. So, and that's the very annoying part of it to me, is that politics should be absolutely removed from the seafood industry in particular, and have a bit of a listen to the scientists for a change. They don't put this stuff out there for nothing. So yeah, it's very disheartening the way down the road that a lot of decisions go sometimes. But yeah, I don't think if we've got the ability to change that. I do really wish we could, but yeah, we won't die wondering. We'll keep trying though.
Yeah, well, I think the take-home message there is that it's job creation by government at the expense of the seafood consumers.
The public that we supply, they turn out to be we're big losers. We have the opportunity, or maybe not the opportunity, but the possibility of us losing our employment, losing our businesses.
Mm.
The public also stand to lose because of the lack of the quality seafood that we do have here that they're entitled to. It's everybody, so why don't we share it amongst everybody?
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be, but unfortunately, the government has other ideas and has had for around 30 years now. So, anyway, thank you very much for this, Keith.
Right, Dane, no problem at all. Anytime, no doubt there will be still issues bobbing their head up in this industry, so anytime I can be of help, not a problem. That's what we're here for, is to help our fellow fishermen.
Well, that was Keith Harris, the president of Queensland Seafood Industry Association. Now, I've made contact with the Queensland government, and a biosecurity spokesman has come back to me to answer my questions. Question one was, what is being done for the small businesses that are impacted by white spot? They have answered, a range of support mechanisms have been put in place to assist businesses, including low interest loans for infrastructure purposes, to boost on-farm biosecurity. business continuity planning support, and financial counselling. Additionally, Biosecurity Queensland is making contact directly with impacted businesses to provide up-to-date information on the white spot disease response to enable them to make timely business-related decisions. The next question was, will the Minister give consideration to reversing the net-free zones? The answer was the Queensland Government is committed to the net-free zones. And then I've asked, what is the percentage of locally caught seafood consumed in Queensland? They answered, we do not have these figures. That concludes this episode of Commercial Fishing Radio. Thank you very much for listening. Keep in touch. Go and check out my Facebook page, Commercial Fishing Media, my website, www.commercialfishingmedia.com. Bye for now.